I'm Janet Morena, the Executive Director of Priests for Life. Welcome to Just Ask Janet. And you might be saying, wait a minute, Janet, you normally don't air on Sunday evening. Well, have I got a surprise for you? Well, after 8 weeks of operation, recovery, and all that, guess who is joining me on the show tonight? Father Frank Pavone, our National Director. Well, Father, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And of
back
course,
better than ever.
Better than ever. And of course, like we said, Priest for Life and you didn't skip a beat.
That's right.
Not one heartbeat did we skip. And of course, during the whole course, from the moment you got in front of that hospital, through all recovery, we took still pictures, we took video, and one of our talented producers, Kurt Shumay, put together a really nice little video to capture the whole thing.
Well, we wanted to do this because this was really a journey that our whole Priest for Life family made along with me as I had the open heart surgery. And in it, the people are going to see, what was on my mind, as I went into the surgery, what was the first thing I said when I came out of it, and how did the recovery period progress. And, there's a lot of pro-life lessons when you go through something like this too. So the video captures all of that we want to share with people.
Well, Father, let's take a look at that video right now.
So this surgery was something that was completely unexpected. I get an annual physical, and 2021 was no different. I went to my regular doctor. I was feeling great. I had no complaints whatsoever. But as part of the exam, of course, he listened to my heart, as the doctor always does. And then he said, I hear a regurgitation. I hear, backflow of blood that is kind of loud, and it shouldn't be like that. So he made a referral for me to a cardiologist. The cardiologist also examined me and said, we need to get a close look at your heart because it sounds like your mitral valve is damaged. And he suspected that it was, and he warned me right from the start. He said this could mean the need for some surgical repair. And, at that point, it just sounds surreal. It's like, really? I didn't even have any symptoms. There was no pain, no shortness of breath, nothing. And now all of a sudden we're talking about heart surgery. And so it just, you get at the beginning just that sort of bizarre feeling like, this can't actually be the situation. Well, we did the tests that the cardiologist wanted. And in fact, he then came to me at the end of that test and said, yeah, we have to do surgery. We have to repair this valve. It was a bizarre kind of feeling. But at the same time, right from the beginning, I was quite confident and at peace. First of all, I knew that I didn't have any symptoms or complicating factors. The doctor was telling me I was healthy. In fact, he was saying the heart was healthy. There were no blockages. There was no weakness in the heart or damage aside from this valve. And really what the issue is, the mitral valve, many people have mitral valve prolapse, and I knew that I had that too, where the valve, as it closes and opens to allow the proper flow of blood in the heart, is just a little bit misshapen, and sometimes there's a little bit of backflow of blood. But in this case, the doctor was saying something different was going on. There was actually a partial disconnect of the valve from the heart wall. And so it was a condition called flail leaflet, and there was just too much backflow of blood. The valve had to be fixed. And so at that point, we began to make plans for the surgery. But he told me otherwise I was healthy. There were no other complicating factors. My age was good for the surgery. And he said, the fact that you don't have any symptoms means that we've noticed this early enough before it caused damage. And he compared it sort of to, having a flat tire. Can you drive for a while in your car having a flat tire? Sure you can. But if you keep going that way, you're going to cause other damage to the car. And so this was a it wasn't preventive because there was already damage there to the valve, but it was the opportune time to do it in order to prevent further damage going forward. So I was confident right from the beginning. The doctors knew what they were talking about. And then my confidence even increased because he referred me to a heart surgeon who, right here in Florida, in Orlando, Dr. Accola, who is one of the top experts in valve repair. And so this was a great, great surgeon and a great, great team to handle the situation. And meeting with them, again, just the time they took to explain everything, the questions they answered, it just inspired a great deal of confidence right from the beginning. And so that's how the need for the surgery came about. That's how I became aware that some brand new and different chapter of my life was about to begin.
Well, hello friends, Father Frank Pavone here, Director of Priests for Life. It is the morning of Tuesday, May the 11th, and I have just arrived at the hospital for my surgery. I wanted to share a few thoughts with you here this morning as I get ready to go in. First of all, just, obviously the thanks for all the prayers. It's been so many prayers. I'm going in here as well armed with prayers as with any kind of medications. But we have a great medical team here. I'm going to Advent Health for this procedure, and I'm sure some of you know about Advent Health. Their motto, their stated mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ. Isn't that awesome? And it just goes right in line with what all of us are thinking and praying, that the Lord Himself guides us, the Giver of life guides us in the preservation of life. Hey friends, Father Frank Pavone, Director of Priests for Life. I have just gotten the first dose of relaxing medicine. All the preparations have been made. The people here at Advent Health are extremely not only expert, but professional, but faith-filled, and I want to recommend them to any of you that might have the opportunity to use Advent Health. And we are, I think, just about ready to be. I think the next step is the OR, right? The next step is the OR. We're going to get this thing done. And I've been joking with people, it's obviously a serious surgery, but I got the easiest job today. I go to sleep. The doctors, the nurses, the other medical technical people, they've got a lot of very precise work to do. People that are, close to me, they're worrying and it's going to be hours. And I get to go to sleep and I get all the benefit. So how do you like that? Blessings to you. Thanks for the prayers. We will talk to you on the other side of the surgery.
So the day of surgery came. I had the procedure, and I was told by a cousin of mine that had open heart surgery that upon first waking up, I was going to be still on that breathing tube, and that it was going to be a very strange feeling, and that I was going to try to fight against the tube. And he said, just relax at that point. And that's exactly what happened. That was the first experience upon waking up, is that you're lying there and you feel this tube going down your throat. But you can't talk, you can't move, you can't cough, you can't raise your hand, you can't signal anybody anything. But of course, they all know what's exactly going on, and you're breathing. There's no problem whatsoever. That's exactly what the tube is helping you do. So I remember getting up from the anesthesia, waking up. That was the thought that went through my mind. It says, everything is as it's supposed to be. These people are right around me here. And then I remember one of the people saying to me, okay, we're going to have to keep it in there about a half hour more. And your first instinct is, again, to try to push against it. But I just said to myself, okay, just relax. You don't really have to do anything here except let them and the tube do its job. And shortly after that, they said, okay, we're going to take it out. We're going to wash out your mouth. Don't swallow anything. And once that was done, they asked me, what is your name? And so I went to say my name and thought I was going to hear my voice, but it was just very raspy and hoarse. But I told them my name and they said, very good. So shortly after that, they let my associates come in and I was able to see them and gave them a double thumbs up because I was feeling very good and knew that things had gone well. In fact, the doctor came in, the surgeon came in shortly after that and told me that the procedure went well, all according to plan. They actually, by the way, did two things. They fixed the mitral valve so that now was working just the way it's supposed to. And then they also repaired a little hole in my heart that they had discovered when they did the initial testing, one of those things that's supposed to close at birth, but in my case, and I never knew this before, it hadn't completely closed. So the doctor repaired that too. The doctor came in and shook my hand and I held on to his hand. And I said, Dr. Akala, your hands held my heart today. And he said, yes, that's right. And it was just a moment of, it was just awesome because when can you ever say that to somebody? I mean, that's something that is not a normal thing in life. Of course, many people, some of you watching, have had heart surgery. You can say the same thing. But there's not many people that we can say that to. This was a time then that began the immediate recovery after the surgery. And as I had been forewarned, there were all kinds of tubes coming out from me in all different places. It was really kind of strange. Tubes out of the side of my neck, out of my stomach. And, during these surgeries, your heart is stopped. You're on a heart-lung machine. Lots of fluids are being pumped into the body, including various types of medications and so forth. So it was a highly unusual sensation to have all these tubes. And yet, what I was feeling above all was just, again, that sense of confidence. Every single one of these tubes, every single one of these machines, this is not a cause for alarm. This is a cause for consolation because they're all doing exactly what needs to be done right now for my body. And I looked at every experience too, whether it was a particular tube that was in there or had to be taken out or a particular medication that had to be given or anything that had to be done. I looked at each of these moments as a learning experience. Asked what they were doing, asked questions, and also each of those moments was, an encounter with a person who was caring for me. And so I would always, when the doctors would come in or the nurses and all the other medical assistants on the team, I would always be asking them how they were. I would always want to establish that personal connection with them, and to the extent that we were able to, as they did their job, be able to have a conversation with them. And I always wanted to create that positive atmosphere, that positive environment, because these healthcare workers, these are special people. And not every patient is in a good frame of mind, and they have to deal with people who are quite irritable and irritated and angry and frustrated and depressed. But I wanted to give them as much as possible a positive experience of helping me, because that's how I received it. It was a positive experience. In that sense, I also felt right from the beginning the care, concern, prayers of all of you and so many other people, not to mention, of course, the care of the immediate medical team. But that sense of solidarity, that sense of so many people sending their prayers and good wishes was very, very palpable to me, uppermost in my mind. Uppermost in my mind, too, and it was the first thing I said after coming out of the anesthesia, and they asked me my name, and I said it. But the first thing I said to my associates, Janet and Anthony, who were there and came into the recovery area, I said, for the unborn. Because everything that we are doing is for the unborn. Everything that I am doing each day for the unborn. And so the unborn were the first people on my mind as I came out of the anesthesia. And I said this to them. I said, now we are moving forward into a new chapter here for the unborn. The period of recovery is a period. It is, in fact, as I'm talking to you right now, making this video, I'm still only halfway through the recovery period. I mean, it still hurts in here. I mean, I'm still not back to normal. I'm not able to move in all the ways that we are used to moving. It's a period of time, a good solid 8 weeks of recovery after heart surgery, as those of you who've been through it or have helped others through it know very well. And so for a person like me who is just constantly focused on my work and working morning, noon, and night, not respecting any kind of time clock or anything like that, but really on a mission, people might think, and some people said to me, oh, well, this must be very frustrating for you to, have to take so much time, away from your work. But the way I've been looking at it right from the beginning is simply this. The things I have to do to rest, the extra exercises, the period of recovery, that there are many different things that have to be monitored daily, blood pressure and heart rate, and taking a temperature and looking at the incision and breathing exercises, especially at the early stage of the recovery, and walking and all these different things. And just more time for rest. I'm not looking at it as something that is taking away from the work. Right from the beginning, I said this is a project which is absolutely necessary for the work. This is a project now of healing. This is an 8-week task. It is a goal. It is a set of goals. Because one of the things that the cardiologist told me right from the start was that once I get this surgery done, and once I go through the recovery, my baseline of energy is going to be even higher, even stronger than it was before. And I've always had a lot of energy. So to me, this was really all good news all around. So to take the time to heal, some people are difficult patients. I'm not a difficult patient. Some patients are stubborn. I'm not a stubborn patient. I follow all the rules, all the directives, all the orders of the doctors and the nurses, and happily so, because they are pointing the way to the best health, to the best outcomes. And so we've been working very, very well together. So I've joyfully taken upon myself the duties of this recovery period and seen it as a project that is part and parcel of my mission, to become healthy and strong. Why? For the very thing that I said as soon as I came out of anesthesia, for the unborn. And so it really is the beginning of a new chapter of strength and a new chapter of service for them and for all God's people.
Update for May 11th. Father Frank's open heart surgery is successful. He's absolutely fine, said Dr. Kevin Acola following the operation. Though he is still in the ICU unit and will be for tonight and most of tomorrow, Father Frank is on the road to recovery. Update, Wednesday, May 12th. This morning began physical therapy. He was able to sit up in a chair, stand up straight, and even take a short walk down the hospital corridor. His surgeon, Dr. Kevin Acola, examined him and said his heart murmur is now completely gone due to the successful repair of his mitral valve. He also said Father Frank was doing so well that he might be discharged as early as Saturday. A nurse on the floor said, if all our patients progressed as quickly as Father Pavone, we'd be out of a job. And another physician on duty, Dr. Adriana Otto, said to Father Frank, you have to leave the ICU unit today because this floor is only for sick people. Update, Saturday, May 15th. Father Frank has been released from the hospital. He is so grateful for your prayers and messages.
May. I am standing, as you can see, I'm in regular clothes because I have just been released from the hospital here in Orlando and going back home to begin the recovery period. Thanks so much for all the prayers in regard to my heart surgery. It has gone so well. Every single doctor and nurse and medical technician that has taken care of me has said that it's been an extraordinarily smooth and successful process. You know, we at Priests for Life really are a family. We in the pro-life movement are a family. Worldwide, multi-denominational, many different backgrounds. And we are brought together by this common cause of serving the unborn. We feel that all the time. We feel it when we're doing special projects. We feel it when we have challenges in the movement. We feel it when we have successes in the movement that we all celebrate together. And we feel it at times like this when one of us has to go through a serious surgery. And it's one of those moments in life where, you know, we know we're all always in obedience to Scripture bearing one another's burdens, but there's various times when you have to let yourself be carried, quite literally, by others, when you cannot do for yourself the normal things of life. But that's where you joyfully accept the help and the care and the concern of others, knowing that you provide that in turn when others need it. This was one of those moments, therefore, where us being a family of the pro-life movement of Priests for Life really was so clear to me, and I received and continue to receive so many good wishes, so many prayers, emails, letters, cards, greetings, promise of prayers. Thank you so much for that. I've received that from so many of you and so many people that I have known over the years and have been part of this pro-life effort, and from a lot of people that I'm only just coming to know, people who are followers of our work, supporters of our work. I really had the occasion during the recovery period to read the various cards and emails that have come in, to enjoy those greetings and really to receive the encouragement from them. So I want to thank you for that. It is so meaningful, and we all want to continue to have that solidarity with one another so that we give that help when it's needed. This has been an experience that really also brings us back to the very meaning of the sanctity of life, the preciousness of life, and the fact that at each moment God is breathing that life into each of us as he does into the unborn child. One of the things I said as I came out of surgery was I was very much aware that, you know, my heart that day actually stopped and was restarted. And I said to the doctors and others around me, I said, you know, this is the second time now in my life that my heart has started beating. The first time was 18 days after conception, in the womb. The heart of every unborn child begins beating at that time. That happened to me, it happened to you. And I said, now today, just a few hours ago, as I was saying this on the day of the surgery, just a few hours ago, that same heart of mine that started beating at 18 days after my conception started beating again. It's a profound reminder of how life truly is a gift. God breathes it into us at every moment. We were not there to ask for it or to earn it. We don't deserve it. It's a gift. And it's a gift that we truly receive again every day. We receive it anew. But certain days when we receive that gift come into higher relief than other days. Certain days it becomes even more clear that this is a gift constantly bestowed by God, the heart actually starting again. So for me, there's a deep spiritual renewal going on here too. If the heart has started again, let life start again, let the enthusiasm start again by which we serve the Lord and love his people and defend the unborn. Let it begin again. Really, that's a key principle of spiritual life too. We always need to be saying, today, let us begin again in our faith, in our love for God and for others. Let us begin again in our service for one another. Let all of our hearts begin beating again with an even greater desire to love the Lord and one another, and to serve especially our most vulnerable brothers and sisters, the unborn children. Truly, it's been an experience that has led to a great peace, a joy, and again, gratitude to all of you for your faithfulness, friendship, and love.
Well, Father, I mean, come on, that was some experience, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Well, thanks for all the help that you gave me and all of our Priests for Life team. You know, it's something that now that the recovery is finished, I'm obviously resuming my broadcasting. I'll be resuming my travels in a couple of weeks. And it's really great, and I feel great, and the doctors are all very happy. So, yeah, that was a nice...
So let's talk about the resumption of your schedule. So actually, tomorrow on Monday,
yes,
okay, which is
the 12th.
July 12th,
right,
you're going to start on endabortion.tv, your 10 a.m. live streaming of the Mass,
So
right?
many people tune into that Mass. We've been playing homilies from past Masses over these last 8 weeks. But it was when the pandemic started that we began broadcasting daily Mass, and we've decided to keep it up because people love it. So yes, I'll be resuming live Mass tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. sharp. And that'll just continue. Of course, you know, when I'm traveling, I won't be able to do it, but we'll resume it tomorrow.
That's great. And then, of course, you have a special relationship with Right Side Broadcasting. Tell them about that.
Yes, Right Side Broadcasting Network covers President Trump's rallies. In fact, President Trump gave them a nice shout out at his rally this past Saturday night right here in Florida. And the president appreciates, as we do, how this Right Side Broadcasting, from the beginning of his first campaign, showed all his rally speeches without interruption and showed the crowds, which other media outlets
they didn't show
don't
the crowds,
do.
Father.
Okay. We have now a regular program on Right Side Broadcasting. We actually started this before I had my surgery.
Right.
We did it for a few weeks. But now we're going to resume that too, and that's going to be resuming live tomorrow night.
8 o'clock. Right?
8 o'clock. Now, we'll
Eastern.
cover it here on these channels where people are watching now.
Right.
And they can also watch it at rsbnetwork.com. That's their website, Right Side Broadcasting. And it's called Praying for America.
Oh, that's great.
What it is, it's biblical, patriotic education and prayer. We're going to pray for the nation. We're going to look at the scriptures. We're going to learn more about how our country works and what we have to do. We're going to talk about the current political climate and what we have to do to move things forward for the cause of life and of America itself.
And of course, I don't want our viewers to forget that at 9 o'clock, I will still be coming to them with Just Ask Janet.
Well, that's right. We're going to keep your program there at 9 o'clock, and eventually I'll do my separate 9 o'clock
but little by little,
slot. Little by little. We'll still have yours in the evening. You know, eventually we'll move it up to 8:30. But yes, as of this week, for this week, we're going to have those shows at 9.
9 p.m.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Father, just in closing, of course, we want them to go to endabortion.tv starting tomorrow morning, to repeat 10 a.m. Mass, 8 o'clock, Right Side Broadcasting, Praying for America, and 9 o'clock, Just Ask Janet. So any final thoughts for our viewers?
You know, the medical profession, as I mentioned in the recovery video, is really excellent that we utilized here. And overall, it's amazing that they can stop your heart and start it up again, and fix it in the meantime. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the whole experience was a deepening of appreciation for all that, but also a deepening of the pro-life commitment. It's like, when medicine is so wonderful, and it is, and if it can preserve and enhance life, as it can, why are we still taking the lives of the unborn?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense, and I hope that my experience and all these programs will help our viewers to be even more determined to help us end abortion.
Okay, well, thank you, Father. And thank you, too, for tuning in to Just Ask Janet. And we had Father Frank, his debut. He is back permanently now in the saddle. And you remember, brothers and sisters, there are some abortions only you can stop, and some lives only you can save. Tune in again next time.